Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough, part 2 of my dump truck journey to grab all those trash bags. We are about halfway full, I would say, and we just entered Jeju City on the last part of the last video, so yeah, here we go. Getting more trash bags, filling up the truck, and then delivering everything. So yeah, last time I talked about a few different topics here and there, and I think today I want to start off by getting a bit into what we are doing in testing right now. Nothing too specific, but there are already quite a few feedback posts on the public part of the Motortown Discord, so it's not like anything here really is a secret. And as long as I mention that it's in closed testing, I can basically put the info anywhere I want. That's part of the rules. So I should be good here. So yeah, the testing stuff right now is... There are a few different main things happening right now. First one, Underglow RGB picker. It's amazing. Instead of having the option for a red, a green or a blue underglow stick in two different lengths each, we are going to get the option to basically color them whatever we want. With the same kind of color wheel as we have for other stuff as well, like decals, paint jobs, that kind of deal. And it's just so much better. I'm especially looking forward to using that in something that I can show you guys real quick. Where do we have one of my tanker trucks over here? It's daytime right now, so it might not be that obvious, but when setting up my fuel tanker, toggle door, I include some glow sticks down here and up here as a bit of an additional lighting element. Right now you can see that both of them are blue because, well, that's among the colors that I had, I decided to just go with that one. Not too amazing, not too terrible, but when I get the choice, I will definitely turn these to white and it will be so much better. Maybe a slightly off-tone white because that could also look quite nice. But yeah, as it is right now, I'm still sticking with blue until we get into public testing because I don't know what the whole thing is going to do with the vehicle if I change the colors right now. And okay, I already picked up these, I totally forgot. Also, I'm kind of blocking traffic right now, which is always a good idea. But yeah, for stuff like that especially, I love just having more options. I could have gone with one of the regular attachment lights, but those are way too bright for that. I needed more like an ambient light and not floodlight kind of deal. But also just being able to more closely match different underglow light sticks to your liveries or that kind of thing will also be amazing. I remember on my Titan, I initially had another color for it, but I couldn't really fit the glow to that color. I think the stuff was yellow, and I didn't have enough attachment lights in order to get yellow underglow for the front grille. So I switched off the entire color scheme in order to accommodate for that, and yeah, wouldn't have to do that anymore. So that's pretty neat. The next thing is changes to traffic. There are going to be sliders for traffic and police density, which is amazing. Especially for racing, where we can just turn off the... Jesus Christ, what the hell are you doing down there? I was like, what the hell is that? Oh god, that's a person. I should probably make a screenshot of that. Yeah, you know what? Just for later. Ever since we switched over to Unreal Engine 5 last year, or was it the year before? I don't remember completely. But yeah, ever since we switched over to Unreal Engine 5, some of these pedestrians have been sunk into the ground and it's been all sorts of weird. I don't know if they would have to sort out every single spawn location for them in order to make that work better, or if it's something more procedural that they could adjust a bit more quickly. But yeah, I get that it would likely be a big undertaking no matter the circumstance. See, is there anything more going on right there? Yeah, there's another trash bag. So yeah, the important thing here for the traffic is that not only can you adjust it upwards up to 10 times what we have right now, which is absolute chaos, you can also potentially turn it down to 0. And you know what I've always been saying about racing events? How much better and more consistent they would be without traffic. From the next update on, at least for TWL events, that's going to be an option. And I'm so looking forward to it. Just turn off the traffic when making the session and then you're good to go. You can't really do that in session, so for a lot of other servers like Hokihoshi's, I don't know if it would be an option. I don't know if he would be restarting the server to turn it or to turn off the traffic or something. Maybe on his server thing he could have a second session open. I don't know if that's an option for him. But yeah, for the TWL we are using separate servers for events, and that means that we could definitely take advantage of the new setting. Although, and you may or may not find this strange, when I'm playing in just a regular session, doing anything like this or other jobs, whatever, I would actually turn it off. I mean, I would turn it up, not off. I have been playing with higher traffic on the testing version, and while right now it's pretty janky because they get stuck at intersections quite often, it's so much more immersive. And also, even though the guys are still driving like absolute idiots, having enough traffic actually makes a difference where you need to account for them. If it's just the sparse vehicle every now and again, just a few here and there, you just overtake them, pay no mind, and go your merry way. But if you know that there's a high likelihood of somebody being in oncoming traffic sooner than later, then you really have to take things into account differently, and having higher traffic might be the point that finally gets me to not drive like an absolute moron and menace anymore. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. Definitely feels a lot better with higher traffic settings. And to be clear, and that's also something that's on the Trello already, so no point in not talking about it, they are improving the AI traffic again, and I'm really looking forward to it. So there's going to be changes to intersections and potentially also them giving way in a different way, like actually stopping at the stop lines and that kind of thing. Right now there's just a lot of grid locking going on, which if I let the traffic run for long enough, maybe even block it a bit myself, we could easily get a gridlock going here, or decently easy. I don't want to try it because it could take quite a while with how few vehicles are spawning, but yeah, they can run into situations where they just keep on increasing the traffic jam length, and they keep on backing up until they just completely block themselves from going anywhere. Especially with how small some of the blocks are in the cities, it wouldn't be too difficult for them to do that. If we had more realistic block lengths with more buildings on each block before being surrounded by roads, then they would at least need a few more vehicles to get the gridlock going, but as it is right now, yeah, pretty easy to do that. But yeah, the new traffic stuff might be the most exciting part for the game for me right now. Followed by the RGB setting, and I hope that actually gets expanded on. I would love to have that for all sorts of lights, including maybe the option to make them even brighter than they are right now. Just being able to get some of these lights that I put in the front strong enough to serve as additional headlights or high beams even. Because right now, unless you put them at the different angles so that you can shine on stuff that isn't really illuminated normally by your headlights, you barely notice the difference between them. I was thinking of maybe resetting some of the stuff to show you guys, but no, that would be too much work. But yeah, on things like my Safari Lilliput, that's a bit of a difference, because I point them at different angles and try to shine out more of the stuff instead of just having them basically as decoration. But on a lot of these vehicles, because they are going the same direction as the main lights, they don't really do much. Okay, I wish I could shift the back a bit further to the back here, but I don't really know how to do that. Oh, you know what? I have an idea. It's kinda risky, but I guess I should try, because otherwise it's going to overflow in the front. So maybe not do what I'm about to do in front of a policeman. Let's just go to that private property over here. And let's see if I can make this happen. I hope this isn't a bad omen for what's about to come here. But yeah. Oh, that worked out perfectly. I tried dumping them in the thingy before, in the power plant when delivering. It doesn't really work. They don't go through the open tailgate too easily. They can make it through, but the opening isn't really large enough, and they immediately start piling up on the other end there, and yeah, that's just basically the end of it. But yeah, it does kind of work. Okay, let's see, is there anything over here? There's at least one or two that I should get, but I'm more curious about this section right here. Doesn't seem to be anything. On this end neither, so I'm just going to grab this one back, and that might be it for this road. I know I've been to the other side there before, but sometimes it's better to check twice than not at all. I know I still need to go to the supermarket, but that might be about it for Jiju over here. GG for Jiju. Okay, that was horrible. But yeah, this whole maneuver that I just did, trying to partially dump the stuff to even it out a bit better, that's something that I haven't done before, so this is Definitely not the worst idea. On the other run, at the end, stuff started piling up at the front. I tried throwing some of the bags over the cap, but to a mixed results. As it is right now, it should be much easier to fill it up a bit more. And yeah, on the other one, the bags started jumping back out again if I threw them in here. So this is a lot more even now. Anything else in here? I think I've been to the top there. That's where I came from. So we might be on the way out now. Not sure if I was going through here. I think I see another trash bag there. Yep, definitely haven't been through this one. And here we go. I was looking at the woman, I was looking behind her. Didn't try to load her into the thingy. I just noticed that she was highlighted for a moment. Another one here. But yeah, I think we are good to go to the next area, which is going to be the vehicle dealership. But yeah, the other thing that obviously is happening right now are the dollies. Highly requested feature, very good fit for the game. But honestly, I've done so much cargo transportation recently. I mostly leave the testing of those things to other people right now. I've been focused more on other things that were brought up in the testing. But yeah, I tried them out. They do their thing, and I mean, they are really interesting for a few specific purposes. But I will have to see where everything ends up. There's a lot of balancing consideration with those right now, so I don't know if the current implementation is what it's going to be in the end, and therefore I don't know if it's really worth talking about right now. With the other things, I have a better feeling that it will be something closer to what we have right now in the end. I mean, traffic spawning might still be changing quite a bit, because right now there are a few things happening that maybe shouldn't be, but we'll see. So maybe in the end we won't be able to get 10 times as much traffic as we have right now, because that's a good way to crash your game. But higher traffic density definitely appreciated. Oh look, it's my trailer for the truck that ran off without it. You know what, since that still has stuff loaded, let me just take care of that. Also, just quickly give everything here a refresh. Or did I completely remove the truck from the route? Here, gonna have to add that again. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's get VFL1. I don't know why that jumped. I think it got stuck on the bar behind the parking spot. But here we go. Just gonna make this quick. And yeah, I noticed that the whole thing where the lumber mill was getting low on logs, and I thought it would be easiest just letting the AI handle the whole thing. So that's what I'm doing here. I wish we could solve this by recently used, but that sadly doesn't happen. Truck FL1. Gonna have to use the mouse again to get into this menu. And logs Liju. It deleted the load because I just assigned the whole thing, which sometimes happens. I think this is to try and avoid exploits, so this is deleting this stuff in order to make sure that I don't do anything weird. I think that's also working the other way around. If I take over a vehicle from the AI and deliver it, it's not going to count the same way as if I drove it the whole way. Because people have basically gotten a lot of the same truck, like fuel trucks for example, or semi-trucks with tanker trailers, loaded them up, handed them over to the AI, led the convoy down to the refinery with crude oil or something like that, and then stopped everything before delivery and handed it over themselves in order to do a contract or something. And that's of course a bit cheaty. But yeah, we're gonna have to see if that doesn't cause any other problems. I noticed in the past that it was sometimes really useful being able to jump into the truck and just check the cargo, but I think we should get all the same info from just looking at the vehicle through the company screen, which should have the same level of detail in the information. So yeah, let's load on a few more over here. Oh, did I just... I think I completely skipped past the dealership. There are like two or three bags over there as well. So nothing really worth going back to, but I don't know. I just sometimes I kind of blank on this stuff right now. It's a bit of a problem. There's another set of bags over there and also a few right here, which is nice. Oops. I don't know what that bus is doing there. But yeah, hopefully with the next update the traffic is going to be improved with how it handles intersections and that kind of stuff. And hopefully good enough to really handle a lot more vehicles, because once again it just feels so much better. Until you get tired, want to drive a bit faster and just turn it all off. Come to think of it, maybe higher traffic density would also require a payout rebalancing for taxi driving. Because right now a lot of the stuff with urgency taxi fares, it requires an almost empty road. Especially down south. But yeah, stuff like that, I wouldn't mind if we got back to that and gave it all a bit of an update. Bit more love. Because right now it's definitely usable and everything. But it could be a bit better. And especially when it comes to taxis going to the southern area, it's all still seems to be based on the straight line distance, and therefore some of the stuff doesn't pay out too well. And especially urgency fares, they don't give you enough time to really even get there. And if anything, the longer trips should be a bit more lenient on the time limit and not more strictly paced. We'll have to see. Another back over here. And when we are about to get into the next slightly larger area, I might have to drive through Gangyang again at the end, just to get the last few things from there as well, but yeah, we're gonna have to see about that. So this might be a longer video than the last one, but we are definitely going to deliver today. Turning this into a three-parter where when the truck is already this full would be quite silly. Okay, I'm going to stay on the road for once. I don't want to shake the entire load now. I think that could be disastrous. But the same is true if I hit one of those flower banks, so better be careful. I don't want to have to pick up roughly 100 trash bags again. Okay, let's check the sashimi place and the high school first, and then we are going to go into town. For this area I have basically no idea where any of the trash bags might be. I'm just assuming there should be some over here, which apparently is not the case. So yeah, what's next? Over here we got a few. I likely just have to travel through the entire thing here. Go through every single road, look at both sides all the time and make sure that I don't miss anything. But I'm also kind of trying to figure out how next week is going to work out for me. There's going to be a lot of appointments and I don't know, it's kind of getting overwhelming recently. So yeah, while I want to focus on what I'm doing right now, I'm not fully there. It's annoying. But yeah, with appointments and some other stuff, I've recently had a bit of a problem. It's just I get overwhelmed if it's too much, and recently it's been too much quicker than usual. So I'm trying to organize myself, but I always feel like I'm missing something, and that's the real annoying thing. Always should be doing something. I also remember the time when we had a convenience store over here. Got removed in the supermarket update. Okay, nothing over there. Another empty plot over here. With some of these I'm really just waiting for better building options. I love that we have the whole thing at all. Because that's really not a given in a driving game if we can have fully decoratable houses and that kind of thing. If that even is a word to begin with. But yeah, in the end, with the options right now, it still feels like I could maybe do something. Have one single highly decorated house there, and that would be alright. But in the end, I would rather get something that's maybe a bit different, not always the same. And yeah, I'm driving around the same block again because I wanted to check out one additional road up there. You know what, let's go the other direction and then come up with that other road there. I mean, there are so many props on the different properties that we cannot do anything with, that we cannot have for ourselves, and the same is true for even the stuff in the furniture store. And I think it would need something like that for me to really get into the whole thing again. Although, you know what, maybe I missed my chance here. I should have just gone ahead and made one of the properties just the most Christmassy houses on to ever exist on Motortown. Stuff like that could have been fun. Just put down a house in the neighborhood and fully over decorate it. Just have snowman on the roof or something like that. Whatever, go crazy. Too late for that now. I think I bought some decorations, but yeah, I don't know, I would have to see what I have. But I think the smaller plots are kinda predestined for that. Let's get one in the middle of a small village and go crazy on it. Ah. I actually have my thingy here, that's interesting. Completely forgot about that one. Ah. I thought I just needed to clear my throat, but that was that was a bit rougher than expected. Another thing I recently made a suggestion on is just getting a few signs at the entrances of the different islands, just as a welcome thing. So welcome to Lilu Island, welcome to Anson Island, and welcome to Oji Island. The reason for that, apart from having a nice bit of decoration and making it all look a bit more welcoming, on the Discord, a lot of people are calling Oji Island Gappa Island, and I get why, because basically the town bonus covers the entire island and calls it Gappa, even though that's really just because Gappa is the only town that has town bonus on there right now. And yeah, the whole thing kinda... Yeah, it tells you it's Gappa more when it tells you that it's Oji, and just having a welcome sign there might clear things up a little bit more. Okay, we are about to enter another night shift here, it seems. I like the ground fog effect and the god rays and everything here. This game is looking real pretty right now, in my opinion. And now we get the street lanterns to come on. Or more like the dirt road back roads, lanterns. Anything else over here? 2 more things over there. Nothing on this one. Guy standing beside the trash bags as if he wants to be picked up as well. Likely waiting for delivery or something. Oh yeah, speaking of town bonuses, I don't know how much I should get into it, but yeah, it's also been on the Trello and everything. Guangjin is getting a town bonus. I don't know how I feel about that, but I definitely need to make some feedback about that at some point, once I figure out my own opinion on that. But yeah, that whole thing, potentially interesting, but right now I think it just makes the jobs that you want to do in that area a bit more difficult. Because for stuff like bus driving, you would have to first up bring a load of pallets and that kind of thing into the area in order to get enough people to spawn to begin with. Although I gotta say, I like that we now have the option to deliver pallets into the area. I think that definitely has been missing, and it should be a nice incentive to build a smaller off-road ready truck, as long as the payment is alright. And that's all kind of cool. Theoretically, with my existing bus roads, I could even, and I will likely try that out once we get to the new update, I could even do stuff like get my bongo for a bus route, bring people out of Guangjin with the bongo, and on the way back in just collect a few items with a roof rack, maybe have even an off-road ready cage trailer for more passengers. Get into the cage, you suckers. Nah, but that kind of thing could be working out quite nicely. I'm not sure how much I like that being basically a requirement to do stuff in the area. As an option, great, love to see it. As a requirement, I'm not entirely sure if that's a good idea. I always wanted to see the Guangjin fuel storage there inside the town reworked to work as a market so that it would accept other goods and especially specifically use them up. Having to redistribute stuff that you bring to that point is not really worth it in my opinion. I can't really imagine anybody doing that on their own volition. I think it's going to be more of a case of, yeah, I want to make more deliveries into Guangjin, so I need to empty out that stupid storage thing. So that it's not constantly full after being delivered to once or twice. But yeah, we're gonna have to see about all of that. But yeah, just finally being able to do pallet deliveries into that area. I mean, there's always gonna be the Limusi Semi and the Olbe trailer. So if you have enough to fill that up, you can... there's another trash bag. You can quite easily do it like that. No problem. But without it doing something with a rigid tug right now, there are a few interesting options, but I don't know how good any one of them would be. I tried it with a cage trailer and the Kira flatbed. Kira flatbed, recommendable. Cage trailer, not all that much. But then again, if you just want to go for town bonus, I think the Kira flatbed has the capacity you need to deliver some high value items. But yeah, right now this is partially theory crafting because it's It's still all work in progress. But yeah, I'm really ready to hopefully get some non-tracking updates in the future. I think at this point, I mean, tracking is always going to be one of the biggest parts of the game, just with how many different sub-aspects there are to it, and that's all fair and well. But I think at some point there are other aspects of the game that also should get a bit more love, and I'm hoping to see that at some point, soonish. I mean, we've gotten a bus update semi-recently, we got the... oh god, I'm going too fast, I'm going too fast, I'm going to... I was really afraid the whole thing would explode there. Not that I would go on my side or anything and lose the bags that way. I mean, that would really be the worst thing. Potentially spilling the entire load. But yeah, just going over a bump in the wrong way and everything jumping out of the bed was also a possibility at that point. And that would have really sucked this amount of time in. But yeah, the important thing I want to say is it's not like they are only focusing on tracking, there are other things going on, and that's definitely highly appreciated. But I think we could do a few updates without tracking at all. And especially the police shop. Oh yeah, I should go to the police station. Speaking of it. Because we have at least 2 bags there. And yeah, they did respawn already, so that's nice. But yeah, police shop needs an update. I think through the changes in traffic density, just having that as an option, racing is going to be so much better, at least on dedicated servers where traffic is set to 0. And everything else we'll have to see about. Oops. There's still quite a lot of other things I would like to see for racing, including more cars, more tuning parts and such, and non-contact options, that kind of deal. And just a completely separate map in the race mode where we don't have potentially road blocking, recovery missions and that kind of stuff. But we're gonna have to see about it. So far, I'm looking forward to doing racing in 0.713. Because that's definitely going to be a step up from what we have right now. And yeah, maybe, just maybe at some point, and I mean, usually I'm not expecting that, but it would really be nice if they could make racing more of a viable career path. At least something where you can make a bit of money with. Because right now, most of it you're going to be eating up by simply refueling, repairing, that kind of deal. And to some degree that's fair enough, but it would be nice. It would be so damn nice to make it more than what it is right now. And yeah, if they can improve driving AI in this game, they would be a whole lot closer to all of that. Even though I would fully expect that if racing would become some kind of deal in this game with AI drivers, it would likely be only the racetracks that are part of the map. Or if it's going to be on open roads or something like that, it would likely have to be on predetermined paths. I mean, you look at any of my racetracks that I put together here. You see how often the route just goes in completely different directions from the checkpoints because they are put into an awkward spot on the map, like in the middle of an intersection or so. And the game just doesn't know how to deal with that. So that kind of stuff I think would be very prohibitive to that ever working out. Yeah, here we go. Back in Gangyang, already done with the downtown area. So we are definitely on the last leg of the journey, and I mean, with the trash bags and the dump truck, it's one of those things where most of the individual bags don't really make a difference, apart from maybe the first few where you can still actively count them. But once you put all of that together into the bag and you have done your hour-long trip, all of a sudden the whole thing is full. But it's gonna be a bit longer because I would like to take in at least most of the Gangyang bags as well. And then we are going to finally do the delivery. Guess I could have turned this into a three-parter after all, but I think at that point it would just be cool. Yeah, doing more segmented uploads like this definitely helps getting more episodes. So I can upload a bit more regularly, but also it kind of feels bad if I'm going to give you guys 3 or 4 episodes of the same thing, one after the other. Don't know if everybody would be into that. But in the end, I mean, it's always gonna be rambling about some stuff and doing weird shit in the meantime. So that's a proven formula at this point. Also, providing a bit of roadkill. I remember an update where sometimes some of the guys on the side of the road would be solid. Those were a few very bad racing incidents, like some people could pass through some of the bystanders, some would be, yeah, it would basically be as if they ran into a solid wall. So yeah, the racing doing that was basically you playing roulette with some pedestrians that don't even go on the sidewalk but stand 1 meter into the road. This is how the boys began, basically. You know? You know. Okay, and I think I need to do the bet trick again. Just a tiny bit. Maybe a tiny bit more. And yeah, some are coming out, but that should still be alright. Oh, I didn't press the handbrake. Stop. But yeah, just to get everything a bit further into the back there. Definitely worth the risk. There it is. Yeah, the thing is, braking is always harder than accelerating. So putting more forces on the backs and therefore moving them further to the front in a very gradual way sometimes. Did everything get more compressed here, or why does it look like there isn't that much in the truck anymore? I lost 4 bags, not 40. And I put them back in there. Got a few of my bus drivers at the terminal over here. So good to see those guys working. I'm also still hoping for a few more buses along the way. Maybe a replacement for the Cheetah MK1, that would be nice. But also just a few other things like an off-road bus. Maybe something with around 20 seats, because we don't really have much in that regard. Basically, we go straight from the... dang it. From the Lilliput to the school bus. That was a better throw, but also still kind of risky. And yeah, I would also like to have a free comfort option bus for like lower capacity, maybe the around 20 capacity bus. There are a few delivery trucks that can be respec to have like a bus module on the back, and they are sometimes very comfortable. I used to ride in one of those. Basically just early in the morning going from one city to another when I was studying, and yeah, the thing didn't really always get too full, so they sometimes didn't have a regular city bus, and instead one of those Mercedes Sprinters. And that thing was basically like a small tour bus. So yeah, really comfy, decently spacious, and also much more compact than a regular bus, and that would be really neat. As far as taxi is concerned, what I would like to see in that regard is first up more cars that can be turned into taxis, especially when it comes to high comfort options. Would be nice to have a few options there instead of basically the servos for 5-star comfort, and maybe if you don't want to go full boat you can go with the Elisa, but a few more 5 comfort boats would be neat. And for comfort like regular cars and other things along the way. Another bag over there. But yeah, I feel like the bags have been slightly compacted since I rearranged them a bit. Because they definitely looked fuller beforehand. Okay, nothing over here still. Let me just have another look in here. I remember doing a trip where I unloaded a lot of props into this area. Oh. Ah, there it is. Okay, never mind. Okay, so there is a bit of decoration left if we need it. But yeah, I didn't go for the full thing, so... Not like I could really decorate a building to my heart's content here. I think that would also be neat if maybe during the summer the winter events would come back. If we don't get too many more events around the year, then maybe just having everything happen twice a year would be a bit nicer. I could go without the ghosts, but at least I would like to have another option to buy the props and everything. Also, I think it would be really nice for servers if we just got a whole lot more properties. In some cases, and this is something that other people have suggested as well, like with this one over here. This is basically at the end of the town, and there wouldn't be anything wrong with having another 1 or 2 or 3 going over here when there's nothing else built, and maybe also a few more in this direction. Just go to spots where nothing is happening and add a few more properties in between. Could be empty for most of the time, but in multiplayer that would definitely be pretty neat. And maybe even in single player, people could be doing weird stuff with them, so that's kind of a nice option to have. I mean, to be clear, if we want to really give everybody on the server the option to buy something, we would be talking about multiple hundreds of properties. Because some of these servers are full for most of the time, and with a slot limit of 100, it's not going to be the same 100 people across the entire day. So there's going to be a lot of come and go there, and yeah. Definitely not enough properties to accommodate for that. I don't think that would be too reasonable to expect, but I mean, one can dream. And yeah, stuff like this. This would be a good property. This would also be a good property. Maybe they would need to come up with a system where if it's empty, it's not just empty with all the bars, but maybe it could be something like this, and if you buy it, then you get the empty plot, and yeah, it's going to be evened out and remove all the debris. Or this place here. But yeah, there might be a bit more involved, I don't know. Right now the game doesn't really allow for real-time I don't know, terrain editing or anything, not that it really needs to, but for that kind of stuff, I don't know how easy it would be to have 2 versions of the same area. One of them has the plot on it, one of them just doesn't. And instead has some other scenery. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of space to potentially add more properties, and that would be nice. We'll just have to see about it. Maybe if they ever figure out something like that, they could also allow us to change the kind of terrain that we are building on. Like, make it paved, make it whatever gravel kind of road material we have. That kind of thing, because some of the properties, they really feel like you can't really drive too well on them with most cars. Because they are just not really working well with the grassy, slippery surface. And not everybody has the leftover props to lay out carpets. But yeah, I'm just spitballing ideas here. Mostly undercooked, half developed. It's It's just more for fun and to have something to talk about when anything really is serious. There are a lot of ways the game could go with a lot of these things, but I hope we get some of it at some point. Man, hour-long video after all. I didn't expect this. I was hoping we would be a bit quicker here, but yeah, maybe I could have cut out the Gang Young stuff and just gone straight through and delivered whatever I had. But no, I want to do the full thing, and the full thing is basically as much as I did the last time around, which is going across the island, or going around the island one entire time, and doing Gang Young twice. Theoretically, I could even keep going and go through a few more fishing towns like this. But yeah, I think we had enough here and it's time to deliver. Last time I initially tried to dump the stuff, but it doesn't really work too well, so instead I'll be trying something else today. See how that works. Okay, careful now. If for some reason this entire thing tips over on the last few meters, I'm definitely going to make that another episode. Cleanup is not included in this one. That shouldn't be required either. Yeah, we are looking pretty full here, and it's finally time to hand it all over. Quite literally. Because what I figured out is that in order to deliver, you can either have them compacted inside the compactee, or you just drive the truck inside the delivery box and then let me just shut down the engine. Just get in there and pick up the stuff. So if I just do this and I do it fast enough, I'm just going to deliver all of them. So that was 36k. You can divide it by 2 and there's some weird interaction going on there. And you're going to get the amount of bags that I'm delivering at one time. Stupid interaction. I don't know what I'm even interacting with. But yeah, this is definitely the fastest way if interaction doesn't get in my way. Ka-ching, ka-ching. I should have maybe taken a look at my money beforehand. Stupid interaction thing. Oh, I just got the Senior Trucker achievement. So that's delivering 10,000 items. I was wondering if that counted the trash bags as well, because, well, they are kinda... they are part of the whole truck delivery thing. That's kinda weird, because in the end, you need to deliver 10,000 of any cargo. Or any, of any trucking cargo of any type, including trash bags, bulk goods, or pallets, whatever have you. But there's another achievement for half of that is only trash bags. And that feels a bit like a weird decision. Again, 1k would be much better in that sense. I don't have a problem with the 10k overall stuff here, because at the end of the day, you keep playing the game, you keep trucking, you are going to get there. That's really just the thing that is going to happen over time with the main type of job in this game. No problem there. This, however, different story, way different story. But hey, we made it, we got all the bags delivered. I don't know how many they were in the end, but we started out with much less money than we have now, and I'm kinda happy about it. Even though, once again, ideally I would have liked to do this on my other character, because that dude just needs it a whole lot more than this one. Also, let's quickly see how we are looking for. Yeah, we got 100% bonus in Hallam over here. The reason why is trash bags don't count where you pick them up. It counts where you compact them, or in this case deliver them. And the factory over here, the power plant, it's part of Hallam. So therefore, all the stuff that I just delivered goes into that town bonus. So that's how that worked. Or how it still works. But yeah, we cleaned up the whole thing. Should be alright. Let me just get off the compactive for a moment. I want to take a quick look at the map to make sure that I don't have any pileup of the stuff. This thing is weirdly positioned. Just to make sure that I don't have any like 20 odd bags lying around here where I've dropped a few of them and picked them up again. But we are looking all pretty good here. A lot of them have respawned already, but I think I'm done for the time being. It's fun, it's something different, but it's also something that I wouldn't want to do all the time. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. Until then, have a good one, and bye bye.